habang hinahanap ko yung aking guide, let me begin with a story that I'm sure at least some of you have heard. But I have added a kind of particular high-tech angle to it. Yung kwento tungkol sa isang mama na dinalaw ni kamatayan. Sabi ni kamatayan, "Busing, panahon na." Anong ibig nyo sabihin? Di mamamatay ka na ngayon. Ha? Hindi ba pwedeng postpone na muna? Hindi sir, nakalista ka na eh. Nasa number 1 ka na sa lista ko. Sabi niya, pwede bang makigamit muna ng computer? Sabi, anyway, you have until 12 o'clock midnight. Basta sa araw na ito, kukunin na kita. Google si Pogi. Death. Nakita niya, may parents pala, may magulang pala si kamatayan. Hinanap niya, nanay niya. Nakita niya, may telephone number. Tinawagan niya. Kring, kring, kring. Busing, nanay mo. Si Mami. Sabi ni kamatayan, Mami, long time no hear. How are you? Naupo si kamatayan, nakipagkwentuhan sa nanay. Samantalang nakikipagkwentuhan si nanay, si Pogi, nilipat niya yung kanyang pangalan sa ilalim ng listahan ni kamatayan. Safe na siya. Yung tagalan, sabi, Pogi, salamat ng marami. Matagal ko nang hindi kausap si nanay. Thank you ha. At dahil sa kabutihang loob mo, hindi na kita kukunin yan. Magsisimula ako sa ilalim ng listahan. Bakit kamatayan na pinag-uusapan natin ngayon? Allow me to be a bit apocalyptic and at the start of my homily. Anyway, nagsimula na rin lang ako kay kamatayan. Pagpatuloy ko na. The immediacy of the situation, apparently, this is obviously the reason why I'm talking about it. I don't know. I'm sure you have, you're familiar with 12-21-12. Oh, wow, galing. Ano yun? It's a date. December 21, 2012. Matatapos ang mundo. Lahat tayo nasa listahan ni Satanas na number 1. Satanas. Ewan ko sa inyo, basta. Hindi, you know, this talk about the Mayan calendar, that this was made into a film, 2012. Alam natin yung mga mahilig manood ng sine tulad ko. And that is going to happen December 21, 2012. And interestingly, I was browsing through some itong mga scientific notes ngayon. Kasi because of this interesting discovery series about the universe, I got interested into knowing a little more about it. And there's this black holes and dark matter. There's even this God particle, this Higgs boson, that they say they have discovered. It is this particle in the entire universe that provides mass. Sabi kasi nila, kung susundan natin ng theory ng Big Bang, you know, yung Big Bang na yun, what I call it was from there that life burst forth. Pero yung impact na yun ay it made everything that got created from this Big Bang. We're not talking of creation from God. We're talking here of science. Let's limit ourselves to that. Sabi nila, ganito daw, dahil daw sa putok na yon, masyadong mabilis ang takbo, ang expansion ng universe. But if we are accelerating that fast, tayo hanggang ngayon, we should have been torn to pieces already, to smithereens, because of the speed of this expansion, which is faster than light. Unless there is a particle that holds us together, that could hold us together. This is what a certain scientist called Higgs said, the Huygens area. There is this field that holds us together. But there is one particular particle that he calls the boson that has the capacity to hold everything else into mass that would control it from being splintered into smithereens because of this impact of the Big Bang. And sabi ng mga scientists recently, nakita na nila ito because all this time, this is just a theory. And they say they're claiming that they have discovered the Higgs boson. Some called it, one writer called it God particle. Not so much because it is a, what do you call this? It speaks about that God is there in all this story. Parang ayaw tingnan niya ng mga scientists. Pero sabi niya, baka ito nga ang Diyos, itong humahawak, nagbibigay ng sense, ng meaning, ng direksyon sa expansion na ito. After all, if according to us believers, you can speak of Big Bang and Darwin's theory, for as long as at the end, or at the very beginning, for that matter, nandun pa rin ang Diyos. Pero, sabi nila, magtatapos daw ito sa 2012. Kasi daw, Earth, let me quote what I read, Earth will soon start to cross through the absolute center of the dark rift of the Milky Way. We belong to this very big constellation called Milky Way. Di ba? Parang ang galing ko sa science, ano? Muntik na ako hindi makapasa dito, kaya ngayon ako bumabawi. Pagpasensya na ninyo. Okay, mayroon daw tinatawag na dark rift dito sa Milky Way na ito. And what is this? It is called a dark rift because it is littered with lots of space debris that consists of stationary rocks and boulders, even asteroids and some objects which are bigger than the size of planets, bigger than the Earth. And this dark rift is the galactic gravitational plane of the Milky Way which traps all this space debris. At dadaan daw tayo dito on December 21, 2012. At malamang, pagdaan natin dito, siyempre nandito ang ng mga dumi, parang yung dumi nung mag-undoy, lumutang lahat, at dadaan din tayo dito sa intergalactic debris na ito, at malamang bubombahin ang daigdig ng sangkatutak ng mga asteroids at dudurugin ng daigdig. Pero ito, tansya lang naman daw. Now, okay, to make the story a little bit more happy, bago daw ito mangyari, merong ngayong weekend ito, siguro nangyayari na, there is such thing as a solar storm that is actually going to hit the Earth. Itong solar storms na ito naman, ang galing scientist ako ngayon. Ito daw ay isang parang dumidikhay, umuubo ang araw. Ganon. At yung plemang yon ay ito yung solar burst na darating sa atin. Kaya magpayong kayo paglabas niyo mamaya, baka kayong mabasa ng sipon ng araw. Ano ba yun? Yan, itong solar storm na ito, hindi naman daw ito masama. Ayun. As a matter of fact, maganda daw ang epekto nito. Have you heard of Aurora Borealis? Yeah. These are the northern lights. I have seen this personally when I visited some priests of mine in northern Canada. In the evening, it was fantastic. Pwede ka nang mamatay pag nakita mo, sumasayaw. Sumasayaw doon ang liwanag. Sa dilim ng gabi, hating gabi yon, sumasayaw ang kalangitan. Beautiful. It's really a surreal experience. But it's a beautiful experience. So these are the positive effects of solar storm. So there's nothing wrong with that. Pero, alam niyo kung anong sinasabi ko, ganito tayo kaliit. We have no real control over what we are. Sometimes, we still believe na ang laki-laki natin, hindi tayo makababa sa pagtanggap ng pagkakamali natin and all that. But at the same time, there is something about us here that God would have simply disregarded because we are so small in the face of the entire universe. Pero nandito pa rin tayo. Bakit kaya? Kasi may trabaho tayo ayon sa kalooban ng Panginoon. And that is what we heard in the second reading. There is something about us, about who we are and what we are about, that God has set from the very start of our lives. Well, some people may not like that very much because bakit pakikialaman ng Diyos kung anong gusto ko sa buhay ko? But that is another point. We will have another social media summit to talk about that. But for now, there is something that we are about. And it is this, that while there is still time, while that we are been given this task, this chance, this opportunity to be here on earth, and wag na nating tingnan yung napakalaking daigdig. Yung daigdig na lang natin, ang daigdig ng kabataan. Meron tayong gagawin at pinapagawa. And this is what this summit is all about. We are particularly concerned with the life and the world of young people. And it is your life. Karamihan naman kayo, mga kabataan. Tayo, huwag na nating sabihin na kayo, kami, ganyan. Tayo, mga kabataan tayo. Ano man yon, whether young ones ka or once young, kabataan tayo. Sa puso, sa isip, sa diwa, sa pangarap at pagkukunwari, lahat na yan, sakop na. Puros tayo kabataan. At may magagawa tayo. Yan ang palagay ko itinuro sa atin itong mula pa kahapon hanggang ngayon. At ano yon? Yung daigdig ng cyber world. Yung daigdig ng internet, ng Facebook, Twitter, what have you. Alam natin yon. Daigdig natin yung mga kabataan. At merong ipinapagawa sa atin ang Panginoon. Mali ito. Sabi nga ni Monsignor Pepe kanina, sinabi ko daw kahapon yung tungkol sa Areopagus. Hindi actually sa akin yon. Sa Santo Papa yan, sinabi ni, I think it was even John Paul II, Blessed John Paul, who used this word. This is the new Areopagus. You remember, in the life of Paul, Saint Paul, when he started this missionary journey, proclaiming the gospel with Barnabas and Silas and his company, he arrived in Greece. In Athens in particular. In Athens, there is this big park where there are many different forms of mga temples, mga pagpapakilala sa mga Diyos-Diyosan na nire-recognize. At doon sa lugar kung saan it was a big tribunal where Paul spoke to the leaders of Athens then, prinoclaim niya yung salita ng Diyos, ipinahayag niya ang gospel ayon sa kanyang karanasan. Sabi ni John Paul, sabi ni Benedict, ito ang bagong Areopagus ngayon. This is the tribunal of the world where we have to proclaim Jesus Christ, the cyber world. Ngayon, that is the first thing. Ito ang daigdig na tinatawagan sa atin. Hindi so much na pumunta tayo, nandun na kasi tayo eh. Nandun na tayo. May mga Twitter tayo, may mga blogs, may mga Facebook accounts and all that. Nandun na tayo. We are simply asked to do something about it in the name of our faith, in the name of Jesus Christ. But the second point that I would like to say is something that has been mentioned constantly through the words of our speakers. And what is that? The word authenticity. What do you call this? Our counselor, Vincent ba? Ito si Vargas? Alfred, I'm sorry. Alfred Vargas used the word integrity. Yan. Authenticity o integrity. Itong pinakamahalaga. At sa dalawang bagay ito. First, it is authenticity about who I am. Importante na magsimula tayo sa ating sarili. Amos was very clear about that. When Amaziah was telling, hoy, huwag kang magpo-prophesy dito, wala kang pakialam dito sa amin. Umalis ka, alis yan, chupi. Sabi niya, huwag mo akong papaalisin kasi hindi ko ito ginusto. I was a shepherd, or I am a shepherd, and a dresser of sycamores, he said. Kilala kong sino ako. Hindi mo ako kailangan kasi mukhang nagrereklamo si Amaziah kasi hindi na may kaltas na yung kanyang na-income doon kasi binibigyan na rin si Amos ng bilang a prophet, he had the right to share doon sa temple. Medyo nakakaltasan yung income ni Amaziah. Kaya, siyempre, kailangan alisin yung kompetisyon. Sabi ni Amos, I don't have to look for the funds that I'm getting from you. May trabaho ako, I'm a shepherd and a dresser of sycamores. I am gainly employed, so to speak. That's what he was saying. But the Lord called me. Who am I? Each and every one of us has a particular situation and reality in life. Some of us are priests and religious, others are students, ang iba sa atin mga professionals na. Pero pare-pareho tayong may puso ng kabataan o puso para sa kabataan. At alam natin na may panawagan ngayon ng simbahan para sa kanila, para sa ating mga kabataan. Pero magsimula tayo kung nasaan tayo, kung sino ako. That is authenticity. That is reality. That is integrity. Secondly, let us recognize that itong panawagan ng second reading na kung ano kita, kung saan tayo tinatawag, nagsisimula ito kung ano tayo from the very beginning. That we have been born, that we were created in the likeness and love of God. In the image and likeness of God. At ang mukhang ito ng Diyos ay mukha na mapagmahal, makatarungan at makatotohanan, at mapagbigay buhay. And this is what we bring to the cyber world. So what do we bring aside from who we are? Sabi dito, katotohanan. Sabi nga ni Monsignor Pepe kanina, not technology but content. Ano ang content talaga na dala natin? It's simply one word, the gospel. Or to make it more personal, it's Jesus Christ. For after all, He is the truth. Isn't that what we are in search for? Sa mga search engines, anong hinahanap natin? Information. Bakit? Para masabing mas marunong ka? Mas scientific ako? Hindi. Hinahanap ko ang katotohanan. At yung katotohanan na yon ay may apat na mukha. It liberates, it reconciles, it unifies, and it gives life. Sa totoo lang, with all due respect to Monsignor Pepe kanina, when he was encouraging you to, to be there and proclaim, the word, our faith there, especially, sabi niya nga, we're talking about wolf packs and news communities. That's a wonderful thing, and because we need this, we need us to be present in the cyber world. That's what the Holy Father is calling us to. But let us not forget, we are not there in a belligerent or animus manner. I'm not saying that he is suggesting it that way, kay Monsignor Pepe. I just want to make it clear, alam ko hindi niya that's not what he meant by that. That kailangan marunong tayong sumagot sa mga tao, sa mga komentaryong sumisira sa simbahan. Pero kung sasagot tayo doon, it must always be in the name of truth. And the truth sets us free. It liberates. It unifies, it reconciles, and it gives life. Kung tayo mismo, pagpasok dyan, ay maninira din, alam natin, ito ang message ng mga naunang salita. Hindi tayo para manira. We are there to bring the truth, and the truth is supposed to set us all free. That is who we are. That is what we are about. Finally, we do not do this alone. After all, Christian religion, our faith, is not a Jesus and me kind of thing. It is Jesus and us kind of thing. We must always realize that, like it was in the gospel, Jesus sent them 2 by 2. Hindi isa-isa. Kaya naman nilang mag-isa. Pero bakit dala-dalawa? Siyempre, kung mawala yung isa, may isa pang makakatulong unless both are blind. Importante na makita natin ang tulong ng bawat isa sa atin. At higit sa lahat, ang tulong ng simbahan. We have been called not to an individual relationship with Jesus Christ. No one has been called in a private and personal manner here. Yes, our conversion happens in a very private and personal way. No one can do it for us. No one can convert us. And in the name of us, we get, or rather, they will experience conversion para sa atin. Hindi. Parang pagkain yan. Hindi pwedeng nguyain ng iba, tapos luludin mo na lang. Kailangan nguyain mo mismo. O sipon. Nobody can make singa for you. Ikaw ang magsisinga ng sipon mong yan. May mga bagay, sorry I'm being, sorry. Bakit ko nabanggit yung sipon na yon? I just came from about with pneumonia kasi, I'm sorry. Forgive me. There are things in life that we have to do ourselves. And part of that is our relationship with Jesus Christ. It must be a very personal experience. But it has to be expressed in the context of a community, of a family, and that is the church. And this is also what must be clear with us as we venture into this world of the cyber, of the internet, of what have you, in this world, that the Holy Fathers are calling us to proclaim the gospel today. Huwag sana yung kani-kanya. Hindi natin maipapahayag ang salita ng Diyos. Hindi tayo magiging karapat-dapat na mga saksi niya kung hindi tayo magsasabay-sabay at magkakaisa. This brings us finally to, what do you call this? To the man whom we honor also in this summit. San Pedro, soon to be San Pedro Calunsud. San Pedro was a young man, like many of us, a young teenager, who, for reasons that we would not understand anymore, joined some Jesuit missionaries to go to the Marianas, to Guam, in order to proclaim the gospel, to be missionaries for Christ. Alam niya yung risk nun. And I'm sure he had his own dreams as a young person. Maybe he wanted to come home para to establish a family and all that. We do not know. But one thing was clear to Pedro. He wanted to join these missionaries to give his life in mission for the Lord. Not that he wanted to die. I'm sure he was not aware of that. He had his own share of anxiety and fears. But there was one clear. He was joining a group of missionaries and witnesses to proclaim the gospel. He was joining them. He was not leading them. He did not just happen to be part of the company. He was joining them. And it is because of this that he is recognized, in fact, as a special member of the altar of the saints. Alam nyo, from the very start, there was no Pedro Calunsod. It was only when Blessed Diego Luis de San Vitores became proclaimed as a blessed, that on investigation, they discovered that there was this young catechist who was part of his company. And from there, nagsimula na itong kasaysayan ni Pedro Calunsod. So, it is in this context, my dear friends, that we must go home today. Pedro Calunsod was part of a community of missionaries. He was part of the church, like all of us must be. Secondly, Pedro Calunsod did not go there para awayin yung mga Guamanians o yung mga Chamorros or whoever they may be. He was there to proclaim Christ. And let us not forget that the theme of this summit is ministering grace to this generation. It is grace that we bring. It is not, fight, laban. We are not here, UFC tayo. Hindi. UFC ba yun? Tama yun, ano? Yung suntukan. Basta, hindi ganon. Kung makikipag-away tayo, it is with the powers that are meant to destroy us. Yung spiritual battle that must happen within. But outside, with young people also in search for the truth, looking for God, looking for relationships, looking for somebody who would love them, as we see. Kaya nga masyadong maraming gustong maki-friend sa atin. Let us bring them the real friend and let them experience grace as we should, as we have experienced ourselves, because we know who we are. We are loved by God.